Alrighty, and we are live with Writing Sprint Wednesdays. It is, what is it? It is July 9th, Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. And as per usual for writing sprints, we are on deck for three 20-minute sprints today with a 5-minute break in between and a 5-minute break to start, I guess, to get us warmed up, to get everyone saying hello. I know the chat's already a bumping, so I'm going to swing on over there and see who's here, say my hellos. First, I'm going to actually drop the link in the chat so you can join me in the first sprint. Also, links below me. If you are on YouTube, you can see them in the description. Once you're in the first sprint, there will be the link at the top left to navigate to the second one, and then top left to the second one to navigate to the third one. But I'll share the links anyway. Let's see what's going on in the chat. I see JM Brown is here. Hello, JM, and NJ. Hello, NJ. Reed is here, and Samantha's here. Hello, hello. David is here. Hello, David. B is here. Hi, B. Renee is here. Awesome. Hi, Renee. Iva, hello. Ashley, hello. I feel like the Baby Shark song should be banned from the chat. Otherwise, it's going to be stuck in my head. Hope is here. Hello, Hope. Let me keep scrolling here. Have I got Emily? Hello, hello. Awesome. I did see a question that I know has generated some conversation in the chat there. But NJ asking, should I have a theme song or opening title thing for my kids' writing channel? And as you know, we don't put out a lot of videos on YouTube. We mostly use it for streaming. Though I would love to make more YouTube content. I have this limiting thing called time that I'm still trying to figure out. But with because we are on YouTube so much, myself and Robert, we've both looked into things that make YouTube videos perform well. And the reality is, when it comes to YouTube content, you have about 5 seconds at the beginning of the video, maybe 10 if you're lucky, to capture the attention of the people who are watching. So the tricky situation, it being a kids channel, and I will talk about writing and stuff too, don't worry, this is still content, this is creation. um with a kids channel, it's different way of capturing them. So if you were doing a writing YouTube channel for adults, I would say no, don't do the intro, no theme song. Just give them like a question or a fact, something to grab their attention. Kids are a different beast, though. They get hooked by different things. So it might be that the theme song is something that actually hooks them. Long spiel to say, NJ, try both. Try with it, try without it. See, YouTube provides a lot of analytics. You can see which one has more retention beyond the first 10 seconds, and that's usually the one you should go with. I'll take a little bit of testing though. Okay, how is everyone doing? Samantha saying, I hope you're kicking butt today, Doug. I am kicking butt today. It is Wednesday, it is beautiful out. I've been very productive these last couple of days, both in terms of writing and, just life. Been cleaning out my garage. My garden is actually starting to produce fruit and vegetables, which is just exhilarating. There's no other way to explain it. And I'm almost done the revisions for the book that I'm working on, revisions for narration. So I fantastic. I hope you're kicking butt today too, Samantha. I hope everyone's kicking butt today. Let me know in the comments what it is you're working on today. We have 1 minute before we start, and I had a Dugget to share today, and I feel like I lost it. No, I didn't. Okay, this is just going to be a little tease. We'll talk about this more. Sometimes y'all send comments that just catch me off guard. This one, because I've been really thinking about redesigning the interior of my house to be a little more cottagecore. Okay. Um, Renee saying gardens are the best. I There's just this such sense of pride in seeing them actually not die. And now, tomatoes, and I have cucumber plant coming up. I have some cauliflower that's growing. I have an plant, plant. Yeah. I have an eggplant. That's just the name of it. That is flowering, and some of those are starting to turn into fruit. So very excited. Yeah, I hear the beeping. I'm putting this up on stage. I will talk to you all in 20 minutes when we'll talk about my Dugget that I was thinking of. Happy writing. All right, everybody. So ends our first sprint in my revisions. 49 words added there. So let's see how everyone did. And actually, I'm going to leave this screen up for a second as I scroll up here and show you. If you want to get to the second sprint, you can just click this button here and it will pop you over to sprint number 2. I'm going to toss my words in there so that I continue revising once we're done, but then I'll hop over here and I'll just make my face the focus of attention. One of my least favorite things to do. But I say that in self-deprecating humor because I actually adore being on stage and chatting with all of you. So let's see how everybody did. V got 122, not a fruitful session, but still 122 more words than you had, and I think that's a win. Ashley just shy of that 900 mark. Athena 621, Hope 274, Reed 302, and David 281. Samantha minus 75. And Renee 67 and deleted like 2 paragraphs. I saw that you're going to be doing some drafting this time around, Renee. That's exciting. Rachel joined in the middle, but we'll be continuing the werewolf story. Well, welcome. And on that, I showed you how to get to the second one if you were in the first sprint. But let me share the link as well. I'll click that and pop this in the chat. SK, the crowns are something that YouTube implemented where the more you comment, the more XP you get. And so it just shows who chats the most. I can't even see it on my end. I only know what it is because yesterday I was on the other side of the screen. Okay. And SK got 504. Excellent. Susan 259. Fantastic. Iowa 142. Great job. Emily skipping my book for info and went through 18 pages. That's awesome as well. Okay. I promised you a dug it. I will deliver a dug it. I watched a school video yesterday, or listened to it rather. And it was a little, I'd share it, but it was a little, some of the stuff I think was a little out there. It was a little more philosophizing than what I think is really helpful for people. But one of the things I took away from it is that you should romanticize your writing process. And that really strikes a chord with me because in my role, making the resources and the workshops and the courses that I do, I have to be very technical. I have to find a way to condense a lot of information down to share with people in an efficient way so that you can take that information and apply it and treat writing like a job if you want to, or look at things through an analytical lens, or spend a lot of time learning to improve your craft. And it's easy to lose the romance of writing even if you're not a romance author. And so little things like I'm going to redecorate my desk and the walls around it to make my writing space nicer, more inspiring, more calming, more what have you. I'm going to put up a bulletin board that has my goals on it and has accomplishments on it because I think celebrating your wins are important. But really finding a way to remind yourself, and I said this in the Dabble Academy newsletter, not this past week, but 2 weeks ago, that we're artists, that writing is art, and it's often easy to forget that. And so find a way to romanticize this process for yourself, to remind yourself why you like it so much. And even though we approach it from doing sprints every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, from establishing a habit of writing so that you can keep yourself immersed in your story, even that can be a way of romanticizing your art. Because the more you do something, the more you can call on your creativity, the more easily you access your imagination, and just the more fun you're going to have doing it. So that's your Dugget for today. Is to find a way to romanticize this thing that deserves to be romanticized. It is something that is human. It's something that's artistic. It's something that's creative. Last week I talked about creation versus consumption, and we are creating things. We are adding stuff to the tapestry of human experience. Not a lot of people can say that they're doing that. I also loathe using the word tapestry now because ChatGPT just overuses it to the point where I see it everywhere. But like that's such a nice way of thinking about it if you ignore generative AI talk. um yeah, yeah, there you go. So to make writing easier, I need a deprivation chamber. All right, I'll catch up on those comments, but man, these 10 minutes or 5 minutes go by very quickly. So happy sprinting, everyone. I'll see you. All right, everybody. That is our second sprint of the day done. How did everyone do? I got negative 11 words at that this time around. Let me put my face up there, do some behind the scenes work here to get our third sprint up and running. Excellent. Okay. And I'm dropping the link for that sprint in the chat now as I check in on seeing how everyone did. Ashley got 841. Excellent. Iva 521. Great work. David 423. Awesome. Hope 136. Fantastic. And Athena 262. I love it. Reed 208 for a subtotal of 510. Still great work. And Rachel 438. That's awesome. Samantha got minus 110. That'll be the last sprint for the day. So thank you for joining us. And I'm glad we could get you closer to getting that book done. Always a pleasure having you here. Emily, still reading 20 pages. Excellent. Susan, 311. Awesome, awesome. Okay, and I did paste the sprint in there. I want to point out some chats from before that sprint that we couldn't get to. Samantha said, I love working in busy spaces where lots of other people are working. I live pretty close to a hospital and a coffee shop there. It's lovely for that sense of purpose. And that's fantastic. It's funny how different people thrive creatively and from a work perspective in different environments. I like working in coffee shops. I think it's enjoyable, but I can't do it a whole lot because I get distracted. I get distracted and I eat too many sweet treats because why not? Right? They're so good. But every now and then I'll work at a local coffee shop here. We have some good ones downtown. So I'll hit them up. Hope, I like to decorate my desk with things from the story so it feels like I'm writing from inside the story. That's really cool. Very cool tactic. Okay, what else is going on here? NJ only added 40-ish words in my editing that time, so getting better, you think? Hey, that's how it works. And the thing with editing, like when we're doing sprints, you can think about the time that you put in or the words that you write, and those are pretty good measures because if you're consistent, those will improve. When it comes to editing, you can't tell how many words you're going to delete, how many words you're going to add, what pace you're going to go at because some scenes will need more editing than others. Some words that you wrote in your first draft will be fantastic, and some words that you wrote are atrocious and need some real polishing. So you when it comes to editing, I like to think more time invested than progress in a specific time period. Right? I also like to use chapters as milestones, regardless of how long those chapters take me. Sylvan went on a hike this morning, so joining a little late, jumping in for the last sprint. Well, welcome. I hope your hike went well. I'm jealous. Uh, Ashley, I've got two old people sassing each other while a young person feels uncomfortable. It's been fun writing that dialogue. That's fantastic. Rachel saying people watching in the cafe, very fun. That is something you do, especially if you want to practice dialogue. Politely eavesdrop, and if they're talking about something personal, then politely stop eavesdropping. The sweet treat thing is so real. It's a problem, okay? Hope's main character is being tortured by his father verbally. That is, hey, no judgment here. There is actual torture in one of my books. So, some people, I guess I should say this at the beginning of the sprints, but sometimes when I share stuff on screen, you shouldn't be looking at the screen while we're in a sprint. You should be doing your own work. But there is mature content in the stuff that I write. So if you're uncomfortable with some of that, definitely don't look at what's going on. I just edited a part where one of my favorite characters got killed. So I'm also sad after this editing session. Athena overthinking about hoarding a table for too long. That's the other thing. I feel obligated to spend money when I'm at a cafe working because I am taking up a piece of their income source, right? But I like, support with the sweet treats, support with the drink. NJ needs fudge now. Ashley tends to write at home with either music or something on in the background. You edit more on your phone, sitting somewhere public to focus you. That's interesting. Cool. And NJ gets a token for characters I struggle to connect with so I can feel them better. That's also very cool. All right, folks, I hear the beep, and that means it's time for a sprint. You might already be in it. So here we go. I'll add this on the screen, and I'll see you all in 20 minutes. Happy writing. All right, that is our third and final sprint of the day done. I got a whopping 13 words done that time. Let me make my face up and big like this. Before I check in on the chat, I am going to shamelessly plug Hank is talking with Michelle Hazen in 15 minutes as part of Indie Summer, which is an event, an ongoing event all summer that Hank and Abby are hosting and that I'll be joining in on from time to time, where they're covering different aspects of indie publishing. And whether you're interested in indie publishing or not, I think there's a lot that can be learned from this challenge. And they've broken it up into almost a curriculum where we tackle a different thing every week. This week, the first week, is all about editing, line editing, copy editing, developmental editing, what have you. So I'm chatting with Michelle Hazen in 15 minutes. I do believe it's Hank, but Abby might be joining as well. Talk about final edits and polishing to understand when your book is ready to be indie published. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. That starts at that link that I just shared in 14 minutes now because I've been yapping this whole time. But you can also join the challenge or the event over at Dabble Campus, where we have a space dedicated to it. You just have to join it if you want access. You'll get the resources, the workbooks, all the great content and videos that Abby and Hank have put together. So go and watch that. But let's see what our wins were this time around. I've got 607, fantastic. Athena with 597. I'm glad that was so fun. Susan 293, awesome job. Ashley 748 for that sprint, with a grand total of 2501 for the 3 sprints and almost 4,000 words today. That's awesome. Great job, Ashley. Hope with 279, fantastic. Reed 1141 for a total of 1651. Really picked it up there. That's awesome. My Echo NJ's praise here. Everyone did so well today. Congrats to everybody. Um, B is back in time to leave. Same with Renee. Emily was still reading and discovering new characters. And B, does writing legal briefs count? Hey, you're still creating, you're still writing, and sometimes you just got to do the thing. Like we write when we can, we hopefully get as much writing in as we can, but sometimes real life has to take the front seat here. So, with that said, I am done for the day. If you are a Dabble Academy member, and that's Dabble Premium, or if you purchase Dabble Academy access on its own separate from Dabble, we do have our office hours tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern in our community over at Dabble Campus. So be sure to join me for that. Otherwise, head on over to listen to all the knowledge from Michelle about editing and take part in Indie Summer. And thanks for joining me today. This has been a blast, as per usual. We'll see you later.